Good afternoon. I'm going to start out by reading you an inspirational story. It's called A Determined Spirit. In high school, Edie's reading disability was given little attention, and she was passed from grade to grade. Looking back, she doesn't understand why no one knew how to help her. As a single mom raising two sons, Edie's disability became increasingly hard to hide. I had to pretend I could read, explains Edie. Reading came up in conversation. People wanted me to read in public. I was really good at changing the subject and avoiding the issue. I always had excuses ready. Finally, in 1996, Edie went to her children's school to ask for some advice. They suggested she look into Project Learn at the Jimmy Ray Center. When she entered the center, Edie asked the first person she saw if someone could teach her to read. That person was Barbara Monaghan, a tutor with Project Learn who had just completed a Wilson workshop. When Edie came along, says Barbara, I think it was planned from heaven. Edie's motivation grew with her ability to decode. She especially looked forward to reading the newspaper, no longer needing to wait for the 6 o'clock news. She was so excited when she read those long words successfully, says Barbara. She kept adjusting her goals. First, she wanted to read newspapers, then came books. Edie was determined to graduate Wilson Reading System, and with Barbara's help, she did. She was so patient, and if I didn't understand something during one session, she'd explain it again in a different way, says Edie. Barbara, who still keeps in touch with Edie, is proud of her progress. During the time that we worked together, Edie went from being on welfare to home health aide and finally to housekeeper for the president of the Rhodes School of Design, says Barbara. In this last job, Edie's talent for planning social functions became evident. Today, she works at the museum, owns a beautiful condo, and she says that now the sky's the limit. All right, I want to show you a few key points of the Wilson Reading System. So we're going to do the first part of a short, quick lesson. All right, first we're going to start with our quick drills, our sound cards. We're going to do our vowels first. We're going to do them a second time using our movements, and then I'm going to throw in some other letters to do too. So repeat after me. A, apple, a. E, edge, e. I, itch, I. O, octopus, ah. U, up, All right, let's go over our vowels again, and this time we need to do our vowel movements. A, apple, a. E, edge, e. And I'm rubbing on the edge of my table. That's our movement for E. I, itch, I. O, octopus, ah. U, up, All right, now let's throw in some of our other alphabetical letters. B, bat, b. G, game, g. N, nut, n. S, snake, s. Y, yellow, y. Z, zebra, z. All right, good job. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to give you a couple of words to work with today. The first one we have right here. What we're going to do is we're going to take our Wilson Magnetic Journal and we're going to make our word on here. I want you to make it down here at the bottom. Now that you've made the word, I want you to get your hands ready because we're going to be tapping it out. We're going to tap it out twice. Say it the third time, okay? Bat. 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 Good. Now that you've done that, I want you to stand up because we're going to skywrite the word. Make sure that your pencil, which is your arm, is straight, and you're going to repeat all the words as you go. B-A-T. Bat. Good job. Now you're going to put your magnetic letters back where they belong. Okay? All right, your next word for today, it rhymes with our first, and don't let it trick you. This time we have a digraph. So we have two letters together to make one sound. This is our second word today. Okay? You're going to get your magnetic journal, and you're going to make your word down here. Like I said, this time we have the digraph. We don't have two separate sounds. We have that one sound. All right? Now what we're going to do is we're going to tap it out, just like we did with bat. Ready? Ch-at. Ch-at. Chat. Good. Now I want you to stand up because we're going to do our skywriting. Remember to say each as you go, and remember your pencil is straight. C-H-A-T. Chat. Good job. All right, you can put them back where they belong. All right, now I got a couple of sentences out of our Level 1 book that goes with our words. This is going to help us with our reading fluency. All right, remember as we read our sentence that we need to follow along on your own paper with your finger. The boy had a ball and bat. Okay, let's read it once more. The boy had a ball and bat. I want you to underline your word or circle it, whichever you prefer, and you need to write it 3 times. Okay? All right, we're going to do a sentence for your second word. All right, remember to follow along with your finger. I like to chat with my friends. All right, let's do it again. I like to chat with my friends. Underline your word and write it 3 times. Now, a lot of times, kids like to do rainbow writing, where each letter is a different color. That's also multisensory. It gets that component of the lesson in and they enjoy it. Okay? All right, that's a very quick, simple lesson of the Wilson. Like I said before, it's usually a lot longer, but that gives you an idea of how there's multisensory elements in the lesson, and it's very structured, very repetitive. Okay. All right. I chose to do my presentation on the Wilson reading system because my district, District 3, is very adamant about us using the system. I've been to training and I've been through certification process, but I wanted to get some of the background and the scope and the research of it. So that's why I chose it. Another reason why I chose to deal with a reading program is because 68% of our students are below basic. That means all these struggling readers, they can't get past reading. They don't know how to read. So they're scoring below basic and all of the other good stuff. And that's according to the 2011 NAEP. Let's talk about what the Wilson is. It's a 12-step program. Just like I said before, it's very, very structured. It's for reading and writing. It's for phonics, phonemic awareness, spelling fluency. There's even some reading comprehension in there as well. It's all intensive intervention for those struggling readers. All of the criterion referenced assessments are involved. The Wilson has a specific one called the WADE, the Wilson Assessment of Decoding and Encoding. There are so many sub-tests to this assessment that sometimes it puts me in mind of the Woodcock-Johnson a little bit. It deals with word attack and basic reading and spelling fluency and those types of things. So you give those to your students before you start teaching the Wilson, and you do it along the way so that you can progress monitor their work. This program is specifically targeted for older students grades 4 through 12th grade. But under the umbrella of Wilson is what they call Foundations. Foundations is a lot like Wilson. It's very structured, but it's just a little bit more basic. It's for the younger grades, K through 2nd grade. All right, the philosophy and mission. A lot of this is based on the Orton-Gillingham multisensory philosophy and principles. As you're going to find out in just a moment, our founder, or our author, Barbara Wilson, she studied the Orton-Gillingham. So a lot of the Orton-Gillingham is in the Wilson. The philosophy and mission. We believe that the ability to read opens up a world of possibilities to the individual. Reading is a door to personal, spiritual, and intellectual growth, as well as a necessity for a secure future in an evolving global economy. We also believe that literacy is a cornerstone of freedom and democracy. Our mission is to provide quality professional development and ongoing support so that educators have the skills and tools they need to help their students become fluent, independent readers who are ready to explore the endless possibilities the world of reading has to offer. All right, let's talk a little bit about the author. Barbara Wilson founded the Wilson Learning Center in 1985. She didn't do it alone, however. Her husband, Edward, helped her along the way. It took them about 3 years to get it going, because in 1988 was when the program started to become published, the first edition. Wilson is a special educator. She has a private practicing tutor, and she also worked at the Massachusetts General Hospital's Language Disorders Unit, and she worked specifically with adults with dyslexia. That work really inspired her to delve into making a system for these type of students. She also, like I said, completed training in the Orton-Gillingham approach, which is also the reason why a lot of the mission and the philosophy of the Wilson reading is based on that. Barbara Wilson served on tons of committees and organizations. A few of those. She was the founding fellow of the Academy of Orton-Gillingham Practitioners and Educators. She was the chair of the nominating committee for the International Dyslexia Association. She was the branch secretary for the New England branch of the International Dyslexia Association. She was on the board of directors for the International Multisensory Structured Language Education Council. And she was a consultant on the National Institute for Literacy Bridges to Practice project.